Coach, thanks. CA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Inner Harbor at M&T Bank Stadium here in Baltimore, Maryland. Here's a scene a short time ago. The Ravens introduced to this sellout crowd, and through a sea of pyrotechnics, out they came from the tunnel. We're set to go as the Ravens get ready to match up with the Houston Texans. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Texans take over first and 10 at their own 19-yard line.
This is it! 19! One to Mike. Watch one. Watch one. And watch slip.
This is Marlon Mack, third-year running back. And an early how do you do right there as they're going to bury him in the backfield. It'll go as a loss of a yard on the game's first play. Second down.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11.
What you got? What you got, Abby? What you got, Abby? Give me some. Give me some.
Here's Watson. Got an open man. It's QT. And he'll go down just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Third play here, this opening drive, as they're up against a 3rd and 5. Out of the gun, Watson. And that is incomplete. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. Now Brown. A good return there, 17 yards. And the Ravens, they'll take over.
First and 10 at their own 23-yard line.
RG3 going to bring the Ravens up 1st and 10 at their own 23.
Check 99. Shift.
They go to the former Saint, Mark Ingram. Tackle made by Whitney Merciless.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
On 2nd down, Ingram. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. It's a pickup of 11 and a Baltimore first down. Baltimore was the most run-heavy team in the league last year after Lamar Jackson took over as a starter. And you think about Mark Ingram, he goes from a situation where he was sharing time with Kamara in New Orleans. Now he figures to be the top guy in the Baltimore backfield, although I guess you could say he's kind of splitting time with his quarterback, Lamar Jackson. But a great veteran presence, Mark Ingram is behind Jackson. Ingram now in his 9th NFL season. Throwing now, Griffin on first down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Carlos Watkins. It'll go as a loss of about 8 as he gets in there to drop him. Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on 2nd down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18.
He's not going to get me. Show it up. Go.
Off the play fake. Here's Griffin. That's caught by the former Sooner, Mark Andrews. And he's taken down right at the 45-yard line. A first down there on a pickup of 25.
I do believe we'll see a little bit more of this as this game progresses, because when you can have that type of a game in the middle of the defense, it hurts them in so many ways, because most teams like to be strong down the middle. And if you can sting them there, that opens things up for you on the outside as well.
That's where their big tight end, is so good, that middle third, the seam routes, the in routes. Yeah, you're right. Probably see more of that.
Yeah, it takes a lot of courage and fortitude to go in the middle as well, and he's got it.
It's a pickup of 11 and a Baltimore first down.
First and 10 at the 34-yard line.
From the 34 now, here's first and 10.
Watch the screen, watch the screen. Watch the screen. Tight up. He's coming. Double up, double up. He's coming, double up.
Back to the running game. It's Ingram. Benardrick McKinney, a first-time Pro Bowler a season ago, in on the tackle there.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
SOS. Slam. Rush in.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Griffin. It's caught by Mark Ingram. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Check.
This is Ingram on first and 10. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. We're scoreless after one.
Too easy.
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11.
Here we go again. Delta. Mike 51. God, not ready.
Here's Griffin. That's pulled in by the rookie from Notre Dame, Miles Boykin. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down.
Makes it 3rd and 3.
Here comes play number 9 now as they come up on a 3rd and 3.
Check three. Back.
From the shotgun, Griffin. Got a man, it's caught for a Ravens touchdown. Willie Snead, his 4th touchdown on the year, as his guys are first onto the scoreboard here this afternoon. And he's a little bit on the shorter side as a receiver. Maybe sometimes with the defense, tough to find the little guys, right?
Yeah, sometimes they get lost in the traffic, but usually what it means is that rather than just winning with height or even speed, they use their quickness to find a way to get open.
Well, tall, short, wide, skinny, whatever, there it results in a touchdown. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And to be frank, they're just in a tough spot. It's only November, already eliminated from playoff contention. I know their fan base doesn't want to hear that, but that's the case. What are they fighting for now going forward?
You know exactly what they're fighting for. Is that word that some people don't want to hear, but it's pride.
Draft. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to go draft, but pride's better, right?
You know something? You're right, because that's part of it, but that's two different mindsets. That's front office mindset, draft position, where are we going to be and what do we need to get? And then the players and the coaching staff right now, pride. Can they win some games and feel better about themselves despite the fact they have no shot at the playoffs?
Motion, motion, motion.
They'll run on first down with Marlon Mack. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3.
Not much happening there on first down.
I thought there might have been a hole for a split second.
Yeah, but it dried up pretty quickly, didn't it? Closed fast.
At the 40-yard line.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Watson now to throw. And the defense has it covered. It's intercepted. He's picked off just shy of midfield. And he's able to get it back here to the 43-yard line.
Well, this is a defense that can confuse even the best of quarterbacks with their zone schemes. And here you've got a linebacker that's going to stay at home and just sit down in that zone. And this one basically comes right to him.
After the interception, here's Griffin. Looking middle, and that's complete. And he's going to get this inside the 30. The Ravens get a new set of downs, give them 17 on that pickup. They'll run on first down. Ingram. And they've got it in the red zone now, down at about the 19. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Throwing on 2nd and 3. Griffin has got his man. It's Andrews. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play. And that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
The Raven passing game getting in sync, another first down.
They ran that one well, and not only did they pick up a nice chunk of yardage on the screen, they sent a message to the defense. Rush the passer all you want, but you better be careful. We can hit you going back the other direction.
A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete. Marquise Brown, the rookie, his intended target, but it'll be 2nd and goal. They'll go again from the 3 here on 2nd and goal.
Check 24, check 24. Hey, check 24.
Throwing again, Griffin. To the end zone, but it's incomplete. He was looking for his tight end, Mark Andrews, there, but now it's 3rd and goal. He really tried to thread that down the seam.
Yeah, he tried to rip that one, didn't he? But a throw with that velocity, necessary when you're trying to hit a quick hitter like that one. Timing execution has to be perfect. Unfortunately for him, that one fell to the ground.
3rd down and goal now, and this Houston defense not backing down. They'll look for one more stop. To throw again is Griffin. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Read it well, and it's picked. And a short return will be stopped inside the 10 at the 8-yard line.
Brandon, this is why golfers do their best to never count a score in their head before the ball goes in the cup. This looked like a slam dunk for points on this drive, didn't it? Instead, they throw an interception, and they're going to come away empty.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And this is a unit that, to be frank, doesn't look like they've woken up yet. I mean, a punt and a turnover on their first two drives.
And I think the game's starting to take shape a little bit now. And I'm going to take it into the basketball world. When you're having trouble scoring or moving the ball in basketball, what do? Get it to their best player, right? Find a matchup, create it, exploit it, and try and move the football.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Now Watson.
As I was watching the play unfold, my eyes immediately went to the referee because I wanted to see, was he going to put those two hands over his head and that universal signal for a safety? But it's at the 1 yard line. You know you're playing with fire when you get sacked that close to the goal line.
After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
No run call here. They'll look to throw instead. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. And did he get in? No. They'll mark him down at the 1 yard line. When you're on your own 1 yard line like they were, oftentimes you're thinking just run on any down, get some space. There they elect to throw it. It cost them.
You get the sense that they were banking on the element of surprise, right? Everyone expects you to run it there. Let's take a shot. Let's throw it. Try and create some space, some room. And it went awry, didn't it?
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he is not going to get through here on try number 1. They stop him at the goal line. Call it no gain, and it's going to be 2nd and goal.
At the Texans' 1 yard line.
Another shot from the 1 on 2nd and goal.
Let's go, D. Big Ed. Check 4.
They'll try to run this one in. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Baltimore. A great effort there. His 4th touchdown on the year as the Ravens push further out in front. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here in the 2nd quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the 2nd half.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. So 1 play, and they're already just shy of midfield.
Got to do better. Come on, QB, come on. Watch 36. 36 tonight. Watch the run. Watch the run. Watch the run. 36. Line. Come on, D.
A shotgun snap for Watson. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked out and incomplete. The veteran Jimmy Smith there on the coverage.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync. Only way to play good defense.
And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off at the 40. And they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line. That late in the clock, 2nd quarter, why not just run it a time or 2 and get it into the locker room?
What you're saying makes absolutely perfect sense. Run it and get out of there. But I'm just wondering if the pressure of today's NFL and the high-powered offenses that you're facing may have forced them into saying, let's try and get some more points.
Baltimore with good starting field position as they come up 1st and 10 at the 40.
Check 52.
After the interception, here's Griffin. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And that's caught inside the 30. They're all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Mark Andrews in the final seconds of the first half as the Ravens push further out in front.
Well, this is exactly where I expect teams to take a shot. Right after a turnover, you count on the defense being a little bit jumbled coming out on the field, maybe catch them back on their heels, and that's exactly what they did there. They threw it downfield and really created a big play.
Yeah, you said jumbled. They were the definition of jumbled defensively. One play and into the end zone. Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and it's now 21-0. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line.
Let's go.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2. Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33.
Check 31, check 31.
To throw is RG3. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Timmy Jernigan able to record his 5th sack of the season.
They need to stop to get back into this game, and here's one right to start the third quarter.
Yeah, anytime you go to the lockers with that 2-3 score deficit, you're right. You need that stop, get the football back, and they've done just that.
Series to series, play to play.
Come on, baby.
On 3rd down, Griffin. He's going to fire one deep. And got his man complete. And a big 32-yard play on 3rd. I guess that answers the question of whether or not they're going to try to play conservative and protect this lead in the 3rd quarter.
And I think this is something we're seeing more and more of in the NFL. Teams not playing to protect leads, teams playing to extend them.
On 1st down, it's Ingram. And little room to maneuver there. He gets it down to about the 39. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
On 2nd and 9, Griffin. And he's going to find his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. That one a gain of 20 and a first down. Whatever the discussions were at halftime to try to slow down this offense, it has not worked to this point.
Yeah, I have a vision right now of everything that was discussed at the half just being torn in shreds or being erased off of the Microsoft Surface tablets because none of it is working. They are really locked in on offense.
And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. 12 more yards there and another first down.
That's pretty much meat and potatoes right there, wasn't it? Just go right at him and let your big horse charge up the middle. Not too fancy there, was it?
Nothing fancy at all, challenging that defense. And on that go-around, the offense won the challenge. Out of the gun, Griffin. Steps away to his left. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Carlos Watkins picks up his second sack of the afternoon.
That's his second sack of the game. And the best defensive ends, they do their homework as much as offensive guys do. They know how to beat the offensive lineman across from them, what moves they need to do to set them up. This guy's been pretty good at it all game long.
First down, a bit of a disaster, and now on 2nd and goal, back even further. Now it's Griffin. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. Hollywood Brown, the intended receiver, but now it's 3rd and goal. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's the perfect word for it, precise, because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? Zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Tucker named the league's all-pro kicker for the 3rd time in 2018.
Go ahead and admit it. The only time that you get excited about Justin Tucker kicking is when he actually misses.
It's
and excited is not the right word. Surprise is more what we're talking about. 90.1% coming into 2019. He's incredible.
At their own 20-yard line.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here at half. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. It's the former Seahawk, Earl Thomas. And he will return this one to the 30-yard line.
Oh, timing is everything on a route like this. He tried to drive that football into a tight spot. And if you're a little early or a little late, chances are there's going to be someone there. And sure enough, this one's going the other way.
Now Griffin on 1st down. Now look out, Griffin hit, and he lost the football. It's loose. And the Texans scoop it. And the possession is theirs at their own 43-yard line.
Well, partner, they went empty set there. No backs in the backfield. All receivers out in the pattern. And in this situation, you know what the quarterback has to do? Act as his own blitz control.
Yeah, he's got nobody else there to protect
No
him.
one else there to protect, which means he's got to get rid of the football and absorb the hit, but not go down and fumble the ball.
A run by Mack to start the drive. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down.
But these guys are going to chop into that deficit. They're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. From the gun, here's Watson. He sets to fire deep. And my goodness, another interception. It's the former Seahawk, Earl Thomas. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran a wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped. It could be so many different things. Bottom line, though, it comes back to the guy throwing them.
They'll run on first down. Dobbins, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 14.
It's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long day.
From the gun, it's Griffin. Eluding the pressure right. Now he'll let it go deep. Right. Oh, wide open. Complete. There he goes right side. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Mark Andrews, 88 yards as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. As he was shuffling right out of the pocket, you could just tell he was going to take a shot downfield. He had his eyes down there the whole way.
He certainly did. He wasn't taking off to go, right? When he was flush from the pocket, a lot of times you see him, eyes will drop, ball will get tucked, and he takes off, becomes a running back. But as you noted, stayed alive as a passer, tremendous body control, and a pretty good arm there, too.
This will be taken in at the 1. And he will be taken down here on the return on what will wind up being the final play of this 3rd quarter. Back now in Baltimore. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one. Well, they did throw interceptions on their last 2 drives, so no surprise at all they decided to start it with a running play. I'm actually a little bit surprised, though, that they got as much out of it as they did.
Yeah, decent little gain. Puts them in a pretty good spot for 2nd down. He's letting it fly for Cooks. And now here's another interception. Picked off by the Pro Bowler, Marcus Peters. What a nightmarish game he's having now. 6 interceptions that he has thrown.
Absolutely unbelievable, isn't it? Hard to believe we're watching this and have seen it, but it just tells you about the game of football. It giveth and it taketh away.
Yeah, the guys, though, that have thrown 6 interceptions in a game, the likes of Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, I think Joe Namath, he did it 3 times. RG3 going to bring the Ravens up 1st and 10 at their own 23. Griffin. He's got his man on the crossing route. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. First play of the drive, a success, 19 yards. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Now it's Griffin. And he's got his man on the out route. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. 12 yards to pick up there. Good for a Raven first. This quarterback now perfect since the 2nd half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping. There wasn't the line that jumped that time, the 2nd level.
No, that's a great observation because most of the time it's those guys up front so eager to get off on the snap. They do it, but in this case, you're exactly right. 2nd level, probably because they moved up to the 1st level, and that hurts them.
So a 1st and 5 now after the 5-yard penalty from the neutral zone infraction.
It's going to be a long day. Watch twist. Slam. Check.
Here's Griffin to throw. Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Andrews. And he's going to get this inside the 30. They get 14 on that one. That's good for a Baltimore 1st down.
1st and 10 at the 28-yard line.
Mike 51.
On 1st and 10, it's Griffin. Catch is made by Marquise Brown. And he's brought down at the 24 after a gain of 4. That's a gain of 4 as we slip inside of 4 minutes left in regulation. 4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6.
Check hot route. Hot.
Once again, Griffin. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield. Complete. A well-executed 22-yard gain. And looking to put this game on ice in the fourth quarter, but still not afraid to throw it as they show there.
You want to play the game with confidence, and they have a guy who's in control right now. Their trigger guy, throwing it, they feel just as confident with him doing that as they would if they tried to run the ball and run the clock out.
Griffin will throw again. And it'll be intercepted. Bernardrick McKinney, the linebacker, picks it. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Now they get a fourth quarter pick. A little something to hang their hat on, I guess.
Okay, so let's face it, though. Who's happy about this play? Fantasy guys, right?
Yeah.
The analytics will tell you one thing or another. That's a bad play on one hand, a good play on the other, but it's all about the fantasy points here.
Yeah, because this ball game is over. Now a toss left side into the hands of his tight end. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9. From the end zone, Watson. And Watson's going to go down in the end zone. It's a safety. Things are just going from bad to worse now. It's a safety that does him in here, and that is one frustrated offensive unit.
They can't get out from under their own shadow right now. I mean, I know this is the NFL, but could you imagine a college crowd right now? Imagine what they'd be doing. They'd be chanting, "Start the bus," because they think this one is over.
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
And he'll take this one across the 45 up to about the 46-yard line.
A 3-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 7.
Oh, Griffin's going to throw. It's complete to Snead. A big one there for the Ravens. It goes for 18.
It's a gain of 18. And the Baltimore first down. 1st and 10 at the 36-yard line.
They're not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And down right around the 32-yard line, 4 yards on the pickup.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
To throw on 2nd and 6. Griffin. Got him in. It's Brown. And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line. A really good pickup of 28 yards.
1st and goal at the 4-yard line.
Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on 1st and goal. Operating from the gun. Griffin. To the end zone, but it's incomplete. The incompletion there stops the clock. Any surprise they're throwing here late?
Ordinarily, yes, because you would think enough is enough. They've got plenty of lead. but I've seen this a bunch of times as well. The defense is going to crowd the line of scrimmage. If you just hand it off inside, you're getting your running back popped a lot as well. Sometimes the defense dictates it. If they're going to crowd it, you may have no other choice but to throw it downfield.
One man in the backfield, that's Ingram on 2nd and goal. And they'll indeed take a knee.
Griffin on the keeper. The play lost a yard. It's now 3rd and goal.
Well, they've been so good on 3rd down all day long. Can they convert another here on 3rd and goal? So the final seconds tick away in this Baltimore victory. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one. And that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, off a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a ton of spring in their step. Impressive victory. So for the Ravens, the great run they've been on continues as they move to 9-1 now. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Los Angeles Rams. Meanwhile, for the Texans, add one more loss to the column. That drops them to a woeful 1-9 so far. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.